Well, everyone, today is going to be an awesome day. Welcome to our first impressions ride review of the 2024 Moto Guzzi Stelvio, which has very kindly been provided by Fraser's Motorcycles. We'll talk more about them in a little bit, but you guys, this completes the set for me. Once we've done our ride review today, I would have reviewed every single Moto Guzzi bike that they have on the market right now. This is such an awesome day. But this one here is the base spec model, and I believe that the 2025 and 2026 models are near enough exactly the same as this, except with maybe a slightly different paint skin. But you guys, this bike, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Moto Guzzi, they really know how to design a beautiful looking bike. It's got all of the retro aspects of it with loads of modern aesthetic features as well. I absolutely love the look of this motorcycle, and I absolutely love this 1 litre big V-twin, transverse V-twin from Moto Guzzi. It's the perfect engine for this style. But now it's time to have a little listen to the soundtrack. This bike sounds surprisingly good. I mean, it sounds better than the Mandello, honestly. Here we go. God, I love the way how the bike just wants to tip you over. It's a characteristic that all Moto Guzzi bikes have because of this V-twin engine design. Yeah, man, it's sick. But can you hear the grunt? Man, it sounds good. This is one of the nicest sounding bikes ever for me. Now, before we do the ride review proper, I have got it in the off-road mode, and because this is an adventure bike, it's got the spoked wheels and the knobbly tyres. Well, I'm going to try having a go a little bit of off-roading. Not the best conditions to try this out in, but it does feel surprisingly stable, even on this really slippery grass, which looks like it's flooded a little bit. But yeah, I think you can turn off the rear ABS in the off-road mode, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you guys, I mean, I've got the opportunity to try this out today, so I thought I'd give it a go. Not that I've done much off-roading before, but I thought I'd take the opportunity. But yeah, surprisingly stable and surprisingly not scary. Yeah, man, this bike is fun. I mean, I have spent quite a lot of time getting to know it already, taking lots of pictures and taking my time with this bike today, because I'm actually not in a rush to shoot these videos today, which is awesome. But in terms of ergonomics, you guys, this bike is incredibly comfortable. Perhaps one of the most comfiest riding experiences I think I've ever had. You've got a wide grip at the handlebars, you've got hardly any reach to the handlebars whatsoever, your back is completely straight, maybe a slight bend at the knee past 90 degrees, but honestly, it's such a lovely place to be, and the seat is one of the comfiest seats I think I have ever had the privilege of putting my butt on. And because it's got that slightly raised pillion seat as well, when you're hard on the throttle, you feel nice and secured in the bike. You don't feel like you're going to slide off of it, which is, again, friggin' sick. There's so many great things about this bike. I'm going to struggle to fit it all in today, but I'm going to do my best. It's a shame that the riding conditions aren't perfect today, but then again, if there were any bike that I'd want to be on in these conditions, it would be this, with those nice big knobbly tyres. Should help with giving me lots of grip today. But we've had some pretty bad weather over the past few days. It's just been raining non-stop, and there's been local flooding in these local counties, so yeah, hasn't had much of an opportunity to dry out the roads yet. But today is mostly dry, which is nice. Makes a nice change. But my goodness, you guys. I mean, just how I felt with the Mandello. This bike it punches well above its weight class in terms of performance and feel. This feels like a luxury bike. I mean, not quite as luxury as the Mandello S, but then again, the S was a little bit more of an uprated version with the heated grips and with flappy bits that open up, you know. So, I mean, this bike, it does have the adjustable windshield like on the Mandello, and you can adjust it pretty finely. You can go all the way down, all the way up, and anywhere in between, and it's actually a screen that works surprisingly well. This is perhaps the best adventure bike screen I think I've used. Now everyone, I would like to take the opportunity to once again thank Fraser's Motorcycles, who very kindly have given me the opportunity to show this bike off to you guys. They've got a huge showroom, you guys, and plenty of stock available, loads of bikes, plenty of demos just like this one available for you to test ride right now. So if you live in the Gloucestershire area or surrounding counties here in the UK and you're looking to buy a new or used motorcycle, you've got to go and check them out. I'd really appreciate it if you did, and when you do, don't forget to say hello from me. So you guys, before we jump into some 0 to 60 runs, let's talk some specs. So this is the 2024 Moto Guzzi or Moto Guzzi Stelvio, which is running a 1042cc transverse V-twin, which is producing 115 horsepower at the crank and 104 newton meters of torque, all whilst weighing in 246 kilograms wet. Now, when I saw that weight figure, I was actually quite surprised that it wasn't heavier. This is actually quite light for an adventure bike of this caliber. That's actually quite light, especially when you compare it to the likes of the Versys 1000 and the Africa Twin. I mean, the Africa Twin might be a little bit lighter, I can't remember off the top of my head, but even so, you guys, this is a fairly lightweight, big adventure bike. And even though it's got quite a lot of heft when you compare it to most bikes, and that's including the Mandello as well, it's surprisingly nimble, surprisingly agile. I wasn't expecting it to feel quite as good. It's not all that flickable, you know, it's not a sport bike or anything like that, but for what it is, it's actually surprisingly nimble. Right, so before we do some 0 to 60s, let's put it into the sport mode. Now, I don't think this is going to be quite as quick as the Mandello S, despite it running the same engine. I don't know, man. I think maybe 3.5 to 4 seconds is probably where we're talking 0 to 60 wise. Let's have a go. Let's see what we got. Woo! And pulled a little power wheelie in second gear as well. Boom. Yeah, man, this is not a slow bike by any stretch of the imagination. Let's try again. Here we go. Ah, yeah. Woohoo! Oh, this bike's fun, man. This bike is fun. Let's try doing one more. See if I can get a slightly smoother launch with the clutch. Here we go. Hey! Gosh, I keep topping out first gear. I don't mean to. I feel like this bike's got more RPMs than it actually does. I'm not sure. Maybe it has got slightly less RPMs than the Mandello. I can't remember. Yeah, 9,000 RPM redline. So yeah, man, pretty quick bike. I mean, that does feel like a 4-second-ish 0 to 60. But look, Moto Guzzi bikes, they're not really made to be fast bikes. None of them are. Not really. But what they lack in performance, they more than make up for in charm, that's for sure. Right, let's try one more. Not the best road conditions in the world, but I don't think the traction control is kicking in that much. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, then the traction control kicked in. All right, come on, one more. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, about a 4-second 0 to 60, I think. Just from an everyday hard launch, you guys. I'm not a drag racer or anything like that. All right. So don't judge me too harshly. But I mean, that's pretty much what you can expect, you guys, from an everyday like riding experience. Quick launches, that's pretty much what you can expect. It's a quick bike for the size, for what this is meant to be, an adventure bike. I mean, it's pretty damn quick. We will be doing our little comparison video to the Versys 1000 a little bit later on, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, hit that like as well, and leave a comment. Helps boost the algorithm and all that. Really appreciate it, you guys. But this isn't quite as tech rich as the Mandello S was, but even so, it's got a Aprilia's tech package. So we'll just pull over here and we'll take a little look at the dashboard. It's got a nice TFT display. It's nice and bright, it's sharp as well. Not the biggest display in the world. It would be nice if it was slightly bigger, or maybe even if the bezels were a little bit smaller. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, all in all, you guys, so yeah, dashboard here. Let's give it a bit of a wipe. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, very, very nice. So this is the mode button here, so you hit that. So we've got sport, we've got road, we've got tour, and we've got rain and off-road. So quite a lot of different rider modes, which is awesome. And each of these rider modes are editable as well. All you have to do is just hold this button on the side here, and this brings up a deeper menu. So for vehicle, we've got the headlamp mode auto, which is great. You've got a manual button here for the headlamps if you want to use kind of like the eagle emblem LEDs, or if you want to use the main headlights. So shift lamp, that's that red light that comes up here, that's coming on at 6,000 RPM. So emergency brake, it's not exactly as it sounds. If you go hard on the brakes, basically all that does, it just turns on the hazard lights automatically. Calibration, so for the wheels. What else we got? So yeah, we've got servicing on here. The windshield small. Don't know what that means. That's interesting. Maybe if you attach a different windshield that's bigger or smaller, maybe this is where you can adjust that. I don't know. There you go. All the software here. Dashboard, so this is where you can adjust the backlight, the clock, the units, the language, and riding mode. So same as the Mandello, each of these different rider modes, you can adjust each of the different settings. So you've got the traction control, you've got the power mode, and the ABS, which is pretty neat. So to cycle through them, you have to go down. Yeah. So you keep selecting down to go through them, and it takes you through each one. But yeah, pretty neat, you guys. It's a pretty comprehensive dashboard. So yeah, you've got cruise control as well as usual. You've got your full beam at the back here. You've got an adjustable clutch lever and adjustable brake lever. Brembo system. It's pretty nice. Little horn. Very cute little horn. That's awesome. And yeah, you got your starter. So quite a lot of stuff. And of course, yeah, you've got the windshield. So if you're on this dashboard menu here and you hit this button, you just tap it, it takes you through the different kind of profiles on the dashboard. So yeah, you've got your odometer, you got your traction control, your MPG, average speed, max speed. So someone on this bike at some point has done 121 mile an hour. Not me. Yeah, the time, trip computer. What else have you got? Yeah, and the windshield adjustment as well. Oh man. Yeah, this bike is really good. It's really fun. And look, that's the thing, like these types of big adventure bikes and adventure tourers, I find a lot of the time that they're a bit boring. There's a few out there that have been very, very exciting and very fun to ride, but most of the time they're quite vanilla riding experiences. This is where the Stelvio really shines, because no, it's probably not going to be as quick as something like a Versys 1000, and maybe even not as quick as an Africa Twin, but it's got so much of that torque that kicks in, and it sustains the torque all the way through the rev range, that it just adds so much flavor to the bike that if this was just a parallel twin, it just wouldn't feel the same. You know, these V-twin engines from Moto Guzzi are absolute masterclasses. They're so much fun. And let's not forget as well, you guys, that this is a shaft-driven engine, a shaft-driven motorcycle. So it makes so much sense for off-road riding. If you're doing any of that adventuring, well, this bike's a no-brainer. It's less maintenance to do than if you had a chain. So it just makes so much sense, this bike, for a hard-wearing, off-roading monster. If you're going to be doing quite a lot of adventuring, then this is quite an interesting pick for a motorcycle, at least when you compare it to the competition. And it's got the cover underneath the bike as well, so yeah, even if you do bottom it out, your engine is protected, and so are the exhausts. And I mean, speaking of which, yes, this is an adventure bike, and it does look quite big, it looks quite tall, but actually I can nearly flat foot both sides of the bike, and it's actually surprisingly small in the seat, though you feel quite low down to the road as opposed to feeling really tall like you would on a lot of other adventure bikes. I think it's because the way how the tank swoops down and the way how the seat swoops down under, how it cushions you, how it sits you a bit closer to the engine, a bit closer to the centre of mass. Which, by the way, you'd expect this huge V-twin to be really unwieldy, to be like off balance all the time. No man, this bike is balanced absolutely perfectly. Surprisingly good, the way how this bike is balanced, because there's a huge engine block underneath, massive engine block, and a huge transmission, huge clutch. You wouldn't expect it to be as balanced as it is. But look, if I turn on the cruise control here, a pretty is finicky cruise control. Right, come on, set. There we go. I mean, look, no hands, you guys. No hands whatsoever. That is how well balanced this bike is. It's quite incredible. Right, so I am going to move the windscreen up, because look at that, look at what a difference that's made. Like for a change, all of the wind and rain is actually now being blown over my head as opposed to directly into my face, which makes such a contrast between this and most adventure bikes that I've ridden before, where the windshield, like, it just pushes the air into your face. It's like, I prefer the position to be all the way down as opposed to all the way up. But on this bike, this stock screen actually is quite useful. The only issue I have, and this is a me issue, this isn't an issue that you're going to have, is that the helmet latches for the visor are quite weak on this helmet, and as the wind passes through, it wants to push down on the main visor, which is a little bit annoying, but like I said, that's a me problem. In terms of the wind deflection, and it's got these mud guards, these wind deflectors for your hands as well. The way how this bike is set up right now, it's perfect for minimal wind noise, for minimal wind. It's actually, yeah, quite impressive how this bike, a Moto Guzzi, have been able to, yeah, make this bike almost like you can't feel the wind whatsoever. It's at 50 mile an hour as well. But I've tested it out at 60 and 70, and it has a very similar effect at those speeds as well. Very, very impressive, you guys. And that's the thing about this bike, I think, in general, is how impressive it is. Everything about it is very impressive. More impressive than you would expect it to be, you know? I mean, I didn't mention earlier about the different variations of this bike. So you've got the base spec the base spec Stelvio here. You've got the Stelvio, oh my god, I can't remember. It's like, is it the Rider Aid variant? So again, you've got some more uprated components. I believe it's electronically adjustable suspension as well, which this one has not. Heated grips, things like that. And you've got another model as well, which is like a race rally inspired variant as well, which I think is mostly just a paint skin over the middle tiered bike, so to speak. Hang on, I'm going to pull over and just double check, because I do want to get my information correct, but there are 3 variants of this bike. Yeah, so you've got the standard Stelvio, you've got the Stelvio PFF Rider Assistance Solution, and the Stelvio 200 Tributo. Yeah, there you go. So a tribute bike to the race rally bikes, but yeah, this is the model that I'm riding right now. And even though it's the base spec model, it's still quite a compelling purchase if you're willing to sacrifice the electronically adjustable suspension, which might be a bit of a deal breaker for some people. It kind of depends on how much off-road riding you're going to do, but see what I mean, like how nimble it is. Even doing slow speed stuff, it's so incredibly well balanced. Woo! Yeah, I'm not going to be doing any wheelies today, unfortunately, you guys, because of the road conditions. At least not in the review. Maybe later on today, when the roads have dried up a little bit, I might get the opportunity to show some off to you. But, well, you guys, I think the last thing that we need to talk about here is price, which, as you just saw on my phone there, these are expensive bikes. However, in line with the competition, they're actually more competitive than you might think. You're talking £15,000 for the base spec model, £16,000 to £17,000 for the PFF uprated model, and well, a little bit more than that for the tribute bike, the Tributo. So, I mean, adventure bikes at this level, they all tend to be around about that price range. They might be a little bit cheaper by certain manufacturers, but they're not that far off. And to be honest with you, with this engine, I think it's totally worth it. And the funny thing is, so there are other adventure bikes where performance is kind of a bit all over the place. So you get quite a nice amount of torque in the early RPMs, but then it drops off, the power drops off massively as you hit the top end of the RPMs. You do not get that problem with this bike. With this bike, the power is sustained throughout the entire rev range, and it feels great. Loads of torque, plenty of horsepower to push this heavy bike around, that's for sure. And to have lots of fun, and lots of confident fun as well. This bike inspires a lot of confidence. The ride as well, so the way how it's been set up right now, I haven't played around with it, but the suspension is very, very soft, very forgiving, very nice. And I believe it's fully adjustable, looking at it. It looks fully adjustable to me. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but there is some adjustment there, and there is adjustment on the rear shock as well. So yeah, man, this bike is very good. It's such a great package. It's such a great feel. It's such a great ride. Oh, man, I really like it. I think this bike is worth every penny of 15k. I really do. It's surprisingly good, and that's been the theme with all Moto Guzzi bikes for me, you guys. They've all been very, very good, and they shouldn't be as good as they are, but they're so much fun. So much fun, so much character, so much everything. Man, this is a great bike. I don't know really what else to say, but it is a fantastic bike in so many ways. And it just, again, it's one of those bikes that pulls at your heartstrings, man. What a great bike. And the fact that it completes the set for me, I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe that Frasers have got every single model of Moto Guzzi bikes available to demo right now. And I've had the privilege and the pleasure of having a go on all of them. And they've all been amazing. It's been an absolute revelation, Moto Guzzi, for me. Anyway, you guys, as we come to the end of our ride review here, let me know what you think down in the comment section below around this motorcycle, and kind of yeah, what your experiences are with it. Are they similar to mine, or I don't know, do you feel a bit differently about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. But let's have one last listen to the bike. Man, what a lovely sounding motorcycle, you guys. I think the nicest sounding bike from Moto Guzzi, which is again another unexpected aspect of this bike, you guys. But thank you ever so much for joining us on our ride review today on the awesome Moto Guzzi Stelvio. As I mentioned earlier, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Huge thank you again to Frasers Motorcycles for letting me show this bike off to you guys. Definitely go and check them out. And yeah, don't forget to leave that like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any more ride reviews from us. But thanks again, everyone. You take care. You ride safe. We'll catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.